Great. Welcome everyone to this open day session. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to introduce myself, then I'm going to give you an overview of the CertHE. I'm going to look at some of the benefits of studying with us. We'll go into the details a little bit about how to apply to do the CertHE, and then we'll go to the Q&A session at the end. So that's me, Dr. Stephen Law. I have a somewhat unusual history as an academic. I don't have any A levels actually. I was kicked out of sixth form college, and I worked in various jobs. Was a manual labourer at one point. I was a postman for 4 years in the Cambridge area. Eventually, I entered university as a mature student, aged around about 24, I think it was, without A levels. So I am myself, if you like, a sort of a product of continuing education. I'm now a departmental lecturer here in philosophy. Previously, I've been a research fellow at the Queen's College, Oxford. I did my BPhil and my doctorate at the University of Oxford, and I was based in London at Heathrow College for about 20 years, where I ended up being reader in philosophy and head of department. I then took early retirement, but then this job came up, and it looked so attractive that I decided to apply, and that's how I've ended up here. My research interests are in philosophy. I am a philosopher. I'm particularly interested in philosophy of mind, philosophy of language, metaphysics, and also philosophy of religion. In fact, I've published a number of fairly well-known papers in philosophy of religion, particularly one called The Evil God Challenge, which is, as it says here, the most viewed article in religious studies of the last decade. So it became somewhat notorious, in fact, for publishing that particular paper. So there's a little bit of information about me. I'm a philosopher, so I can talk particularly about philosophy, if any of you are interested in that subject area. So let's have a little look at the programme. You will be gaining credit, CATS points as they're known, while studying for the CertHE. In fact, you need to, while you're enrolled, you need to acquire 120 CATS points. Typically, a course is a 10 CATS point course, so that would be 12 courses that you would do. These may be weekly classes, which you can take in person in Oxford if you happen to be based here. You can take online courses, or you can take short, flexible online courses, which you can take at any time. They're asynchronous. And then we also have the Oxford University Summer School for adults. So you can take credit, CATS points, you can acquire that by attending a summer school program. If you've already taken some of our short courses and acquired some CATS points, then it is possible to import the credit from the courses you've already taken under certain circumstances. Basically, you can import up to 30 CATS points, so typically 3 courses, if they've been taken within 4 years of the starting date. So if you've taken some courses, they can kind of be brought into the CertHE if you were to embark upon the CertHE. How can you study? Mainly online. The vast majority of people taking the CertHE do most of it online, although some who are based in Oxford do it mostly face-to-face. You can do that. Everyone has to attend at least one face-to-face program course. You need to acquire 10 CATS points by attending a face-to-face course. Now, that could be a weekly course spread over 10 weeks, but the way that most people who are based outside of the UK particularly tend to meet this requirement is by attending the Oxford University Summer School for Adults for 1 week. So you would come to Oxford for 1 week during the summer, and you would do a course over 7 days with us, and that would be sufficient. That would allow you to tick the box for face-to-face. As I already mentioned, you may be able to import credit from short courses that you've already completed with the department, or that you're about to take with the department. Those could be imported potentially. So a little bit of information about the program structure. You'll do an introductory course in your main subject area during your first year. That's mandatory. You don't have any choice about that. Everyone has to do that. You also have to do an academic literacy course. But other than those two courses, you get to choose what you do. There's a big range of things that you can choose from. But those two things are mandatory, and both acquire 10 CATS points. You will choose a main subject area to specialise in. So the 8 main subject areas are archaeology, art history, architectural history, English literature, creative writing, history, philosophy, and political economy. So you choose one of those 8 subject areas, and that becomes your main subject area, in which you need to accumulate 60 to 80 of the 120 CATS points. However, you also need to sample some courses outside of your main subject area. So you'll be taking other courses too. 30 to 50 CATS points. As I say, you'll be taking those, you'll be acquiring those by completing short courses outside your main subject area. You can choose from a very wide range of subjects, all sorts of things, from physics to music. And the program is deliberately designed in this way in order to encourage a breadth of study. So you're not just focused on your main subject area. It is your main focus, but not exclusively so. You are assessed in the following way. First of all, each of the courses that you take for credit, acquiring your typically 10 CATS points, that has an assignment associated with it, which you need to complete. And those are basically pass-fail. So the 12 courses that you would take typically for 10 CATS points each, you need to pass each one of those by producing a piece of work which will be assessed. Typically, it's a 1,500-word essay. However, in addition to that pass-fail coursework that you do, you write 3 additional assignments. And this, I think, is really where the Oxford Certificate of Higher Education comes into its own, because you will be working one-to-one with a subject area specialist who is known as the assessor for your particular subject area. So we have 8 assessors, one for each of the different subject areas, and you will work with your subject area specialist, the assessor, in determining, first of all, what you're going to write on. You choose your own topic within the area. It needs to be approved by the assessor, and you will also get guidance from the assessor on reading and how to produce your assignment. And then that assignment is assessed. There are 3 of them. They become due at certain points through the program as you acquire CATS points. I think it's 70, 100, and then finally 120 CATS points. If I remember correctly, the assignments become due. The first is 2,500 words. The second is 2,500 words. The third is 3,500 words. Those are in your main subject area, and those you work on having had one-to-one supervision with your subject area specialist. And those are assessed not pass fail, but you receive a numerical grade. And then once you've acquired the relevant numerical grades for the 3 assignments, they determine the overall class of your award, whether you have a merit or a distinction, for example. So 2 things to focus on here. Each of the courses you do for credit, for 10 CATS points typically, they have an assignment which you need to do, which is you basically just need to pass. And then there are the 3 additional written assignments which you are assessed on and given a numerical mark. You do not need any prior academic qualifications in order to be accepted onto the Certificate of Higher Education. So don't worry if you don't have any academic qualifications. That does not matter. What we're looking for are people who have a genuine passion for a subject, who are really motivated and determined to succeed and have enough free time that they're going to be able to complete within the 2 to 4 year period that you have to complete the CertHE. It's a big commitment, but you choose how intensively you wish to study. So some people will take 4 years and perhaps, typically 30 CATS points per year. But other people have completed, and you can complete within 2 years. You can't complete faster than that, but you can complete within 2 years. This is a very worthwhile thing to do in its own right, but you might also have interests in professional or academic development, and perhaps you might be thinking that the CertHE could help you with your career or in some other way. So most people, I suspect, are doing the CertHE just because they love the subject area and they want to really immerse themselves in it and work with a subject area specialist in particular. But you may also have career reasons why you want to do the CertHE, and we understand that. Oxford University benefits. If you do the CertHE with us, you gain a university card which gives you access to facilities and colleges. In particular, you get library access, both in person and online. So no matter where you are in the world, you can access Oxford University's Bodleian Library. And that is a very significant advantage to doing the CertHE. People that merely sign up for courses with us do not get this kind of access, but you, as a CertHE student, would have the same access to library resources as I would, as an academic would. So all this huge universe of knowledge becomes available to you once you have acquired your university card. And you will also have the opportunity, if you wish, to attend an awards ceremony at the famous Sheldonian Theatre in Oxford, where all the awards ceremonies take place. All students end up in that great big venue designed by Sir Christopher Wren in order to receive their awards, if that's what they choose to do. And you would have that option too, if you complete the CertHE successfully. How do you apply to the CertHE? Well, we need to see a written statement stating why you wish to study your chosen main subject area. So please be nice and clear and really, convey what it is that's motivating you, that what it is that makes you passionate about this subject. We'd like to see that in your written statement. We'd like to see a short piece of written work which is relevant to the main subject area. We need to see proof of English language ability if you're a non-native English speaker, and we would like contact details for one referee. The referee doesn't have to be an academic referee. It could be somebody associated with maybe your employment. It just needs to be somebody who can talk a little bit about your interest in the subject area and your ability and your motivation and determination to succeed. That's really what we're looking for, and that's really what we're looking to referees to comment on. So they do not need to be academics. Fees and funding. There are course fees. So there's a program fee for each year. So obviously, if you do it in 2 years, you'll pay less than if you do it in 4 years because you're paying for 2 years less. There are course fees for the short courses you decide to complete. So there are typically 12 courses, 10 CATS points each. You need to pay, in addition to the program fee, you need to pay for those courses, with the exception of the academic literacy course, which is actually included in the program fee. There are some bursaries and short course concessionary fees. You can find more information about that on our website. And there are student loans available. If you'd like more information about CertHE, we have a pretty good website page on the CertHE, which answers the vast majority of questions that you're likely to have. Or you can contact us by email. There's the email address there on the screen, and the website address, and that's it. So we're now going to move to the Q&A session. So thank you very much. So I can see that there have been various questions asked already, and I can see that Christine has been very busy answering many of them already. Okay. Could you please clarify which of the summer schools offer courses that can later be transferred to CATS points? Last summer I took a summer school course on pre-Raphaelite paintings as part of the Oxford experience, but it was not possible to get CATS. No, you do. You need to sign up with the Oxford University Summer School for Adults, USA. And those courses all come with the option of CATS points. The Oxford experience, those don't count. They don't have CATS points associated with them. So Oxford University Summer School for Adults, USA, that's what you need to attend. What is the total cost, including the 12 individual courses? Does the student have to be on site in Oxford just once in the summer or every summer for the duration? And if I work in a company in which English is the main language, does that exempt me from further language exams? Okay, now I'll answer the second question. You only need to attend one face-to-face course during your entire period of registration. So if you take 4 years, you only need to attend one summer school, say, and it could be in your first year, and you never need to come back after that. You have completed the face-to-face requirement. So just once, that's all you need to do it, not every year. I think Christine is probably better placed to answer the other two questions. So if I work in a company in which English is the main language but not located in Germany, does that exempt me from further language exams?
So on your application, when it comes to the English language portion, please put in that you would like to request an English language waiver and fill in as much information as you can, because I will then, once all the applications come in, myself and the application team will go through and fill out a waiver form for you and send it to the Director of Undergraduate Studies. So whether you've taken courses in English or work primarily in English, please read the information that is embedded on our webpage on that and make sure you really fill in the application fully. It will make the process so much easier.
Great, thanks, Christina. And then we've also been asked, what's the approximate total course, including 12 individual courses? So it's going to depend. It's going to depend on how many years you take, obviously. But
yeah, it's very difficult for us to say, give you a cost. What you need to do is you'd have to go in, use the yearly fee, and then figure out how many courses you'd want to take. As the fees go up every year, I don't know what they'll be next year. However, you can go on to our online courses page and kind of get an estimate. However, depending on when you take USA, if you pay for lodging and meals with USA, there's so many variables that we cannot give an actual price because of the flexibility of the course. Obviously, if you take 4 years to take the course, it's going to cost more than if you get it all done in 2 years. But as for a specific figure, we can't do that.
Great. Thanks, Christina. Next question is there an option to do the literacy course in person? I think that's online only, isn't it, Christina? You can't.
It is. It's
Yeah,
online only.
yeah. So Jackie has asked, how long after you apply will you find out if you've been accepted? Is there an interview process? Now, yes, almost everyone will be interviewed at some point next year. There are kind of 2 rounds of interviews depending on when you apply. And the interview is with 2 people, me as director of the CertHE, so I'll be interviewing you, and then depending on what subject area you've chosen, the assessor for that subject area will also be interviewing you. So this will take place online at a time to suit you, to suit us both, and it will typically last 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and it gives us an opportunity to ask you some questions, and it gives you an opportunity to ask us questions if you have any. So a 20 to 30-minute interview. You would then hear within 30 days, I think we say 30 days from the interview date, you will hear about the result. So fairly quickly after the interview, you'll have a response. It's often quicker than that, but I think within 30 days.
I have a very good one here. It's about if you pay the yearly fee, yes, you do have to pay for the individual courses as well. That is very important.
Yes, just so we're clear about that. Yeah, that's important. Yeah. So the fees for the individual courses are in addition to the yearly fee. There are 2.
I'm sorry, I just had another one.
Yeah.
It was about the difference between the certificate of higher education in archaeology versus their certificate of archaeology. The certificate in archaeology is held weekly in Oxford. You have to come in to Oxford once a week it's a 2-year program, and that is for the certificate in archaeology. The certificate in higher education in archaeology is online.
Yeah, or almost entirely online. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't get your hands dirty, basically, on the literally on the CertHE course in archaeology, but you do if you take the certificate in archaeology.
Can we take the USA class and import it to the certificate of higher education as one of the 3 allowed short classes? Yes. However, you cannot use it as a face-to-face. So if you do come to Oxford this year and you're going to be starting the certificate in October, you will need to take it again, come back. So while you can bring the CATS points in, you can't use it as your face-to-face course. Another good question is, can we split the fee in different payments? Yes, we do offer payment plans, and once you're accepted, that's when we work it out. So some people pay it all in one go, some people split it into 3, and some people split it into 6 payments, monthly payments. But they are always due on the first of the month. Scholarships for overseas students, not from here, unfortunately. We do have a lot of students that they get Sally Mae loans from the States, or they have other student loans from different countries. Housing options, no. You would have to work that out for yourself. There are no housing options if you wish to come over for a 10-week course. We have had people in the past, but they have done it through Airbnb or VRBO, one of those places. But we do not offer housing.
Do you have to opt for a total course duration prior to signing up? No. People speed up and slow down. You're not You're not obliged to do it at any particular speed, just so long as you do it within 2 to 4 years. Of course, we realise that people may run into unforeseen circumstances, and we aim to be as flexible as we possibly can. So sometimes people suspend for a period of time while they deal with some other issue that's arisen and so on. So yeah, sometimes people do take longer than 4 years because they have been granted, a suspension, for example. We just ask that you let us know as soon as you can if you are running into some difficulty, so that we can kind of work out a plan for you to get around any obstacles that you've run into. It's not unusual. It's a fairly regular occurrence that people run into these kind of difficulties, and we'll do our level best to help you work around them.
We have a very good question. It says, is it possible to participate in the program even if you are attending university at the same time? I study law in Italy and I would like to start this program too. Is it possible?
Good question. So the answer is that if it's a full-time course that you're pursuing, then we are not permitted to accept you onto the CertHE. If it's a part-time course, then we can accept you onto the CertHE. So that's the crucial distinction. We're just not allowed by the university to accept somebody onto the CertHE if they're engaged in full-time education anywhere, including in Italy, I'm afraid.
Here's another good question that's come up quite a bit. It's about applying for postgrad programs. Are we able to apply for postgrad program if we successfully conclude the certificate? Yeah, we've had quite a few that have successfully gone into different master's programs. Some have gone into other bachelor's programs within different universities and Oxford as well. However, we cannot say whether you will or will not be accepted in. That's just the one caveat. We've had people who have done it successfully. We've had people who have not been successful. So, like anything, it depends. But we have had quite a few that have done master's programs.
Yeah, straight from CertHE to
Yeah.
masters. That does happen. Yes, but there's no guarantee, and obviously it's not up to us whether you're accepted onto some other program. It's up to the people running that program. So we can't give you any guarantees. The certificate of higher education in archaeology recognised for career purposes in the EU. I have no idea what the answer to that question is, I'm afraid.
I think it would depend on the people hiring.
Yeah, I don't think there's any kind of EU-wide policy on that I'm aware of. It would, yes, it would just depend on the people hiring. I mean, it clearly demonstrates that you have a level of academic ability. It's equivalent to first year undergraduate, level 4, as it's known in the UK. And it also demonstrates that you have the determination and the motivation and the organizational skills to succeed. And I imagine that would, all of these things would be taken very seriously and valued by any potential employer, whichever subject area you choose to pursue. The next question was about the postgrad course. I think we've mentioned that.
Yeah.
If I live in Mexico, how can I complete the face-to-face programs aside from USA? Well, USA is by far and away the most obvious way to complete it because you only need to be here for 1 week. If you were to sign up for a weekly class to get your 10 CATS points, then you would need to be here for 10 weeks. And so that's much more difficult. I mean, it's not necessarily impossible, and people have done it, but generally speaking, people living abroad, the way they tick the face-to-face box is they attend a 1 week summer school course.
Yeah, there is no other option. While we do have courses that are hybrid, that are run live, they do not count as your face-to-face. Face-to-face, you have to be physically here in Oxford. I will say that of the people who did come to Oxford for the 10 weeks, it was much more expensive than a week with us in the summer. So, you're not, the course itself is a little bit cheaper. However, you're still paying for accommodation, which we do not provide. I just have to say that again. Um, you have to take care of your flights. You have to take care of any kind of insurance because you would need to have a backup health insurance. The NHS will not cover you. You would be billed. Um, so it is much more expensive to do it that way.
Yeah.
And I have to say that USA is going to USA every summer has been just seeing everybody is it's a brilliant program and everybody who goes absolutely loves it. And we have people that go year after year.
Yeah, we do. It really is a fantastic program. It's very intense because you're doing the equivalent of a 10-week course in just a week. So it's demanding, and we know you're going to work pretty hard. But everyone has, I think without exception, everyone has a great time and very much enjoys it. There's a lot of socializing that goes on as well. You can experience Oxford whilst you're doing the summer school course. So yeah, they're highly recommended. Some people choose to do more than one. In fact, you can. Um, in fact, last year I had a philosophy enthusiast who attended all 5 weeks back to back, which I do not recommend. But sometimes people do that. You can import, I think it's up to 30 credits from doing USA courses. Is that right,
20,
Christina? So
20.
20. Okay. So two, you can import 20 CATS points from USA, from taking USA courses.
But you can take 2 each year.
You can take two each year. Yeah, that's really
Right.
what I was trying to say. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you could do two each year. Yeah, good. Somebody's Jenny here is saying she went to the summer school this year. Can't recommend it highly enough. It was brilliant. Yeah, they are extremely good. The summer school courses. I'm not running one next year, but I often run one myself. You can do philosophy, you can do archaeology, you can do whatever. And you acquire your 10 CATS points and you tick the face-to-face box successfully by attending just one of those courses. So yeah, they are very popular, highly valued by the people that take them. Now,
For the English language, we've had a lot of questions about the English language certificate. Please go onto the university website. It is also linked within our website, the CertHE page that you um, booked this session on. Please read the entire web page. It is packed full of all of this information, but most critically, things about the English language certificate. It is on there. You you must have English language ability to be on the course. If you don't know how to get one, or the webpage or the university webpage will tell you. And we only accept certain English language tests. So please make sure to read up and know what you need to do with the English language.
yeah, thanks, Christina.
Academic literacy. This is an important course. Everybody must take it, no matter what qualification you have. We have students that are taking academic literacy who are university tutors, and we have doctors and lawyers taking it, as well as people who are just coming back into study. Everybody takes academic literacy. It teaches you about how to write a paper that will be accepted, and it talks about different referencing and all of that, everything you need to be successful within the course. And for some people, it's a great review because it's been so long since they've studied. It's just a great review. And the brilliant thing about this is if you take it Well, don't take it before you join us because it's part of your fee. So it's the one course on the Certificate of Higher Education that you do not have to pay for.
Yeah. And we've had academics that have taken, the academic literacy course and said they really benefited from taking it. So it's not just for people that have no sort of academic background or experience. It's a worthwhile thing to do anyway. So it is compulsory. You cannot avoid doing it. But I think almost everyone's going to gain quite a lot from taking the course.
However, if you have taken it already, you can transfer it in. We've
Oh,
had quite a
yeah,
few.
right. Yeah. It's just that you've already paid for it on the course, as you point out. So yeah. If you're thinking about maybe doing it before you start the CertHE next year, well, don't do that because you end up paying twice in effect.
Okay. This one is for Adrian. We have people who are 18, we have people who are 90 on the Certificate of Higher Education. We don't have any age limits. We love everyone, and I think to me, when you're in a group that has all different age groups of different people studying, I think it enhances everybody's program because everybody brings something different to the table. So it is not reasonable that we prefer younger participants. We love having people of all different levels on there.
Hmm. Yeah, it's simply not a criterion.
Yeah.
Age has nothing to do with it. Um, I mean, the demographic is we have people, of all ages. But I think it's probably fair to say that actually it's people in their 50s, 60s, maybe 70s, and so on, who are more heavily represented, partly because they've got the disposable income and they've got the free time. Perhaps they've taken retirement or whatever. So for that reason, they tend to be more heavily represented. But you find all ages on board the CertHE, and it's a good mix. And we would be very happy to have an 80-year-old or a 90-year-old, and in fact we do. So don't worry about that.
Yes, the academic literacy course is a 10-week course. And for many of our students, it's the first course they take. But you have to have that done within your first year, as well as the mandatory introductory course. You have to have for that first year, you need to have 30 CATS points. And some people have them immediately because they've transferred 30 CATS points in. Some people bring nothing into the certificate, which is no problem, but they have to get the 30 CATS points within the first year. So you must take academic literacy and the mandatory introductory course. All of those courses are also on the Certificate of Higher Education webpage. The previous courses that you wish to get credit from can be in anything, as long as you have 10 CATS points, but once they have been brought in, you can't change your mind. Basically, it's just administratively not really a feasible idea to bring your 30 CATS points in and then go, oh, I don't like that course. I don't want to do that course as one of my transfers. Take it out. It's just, you have to be really sure about that. It doesn't matter if your main topic is philosophy, archaeology, you could bring a music course in if you want. Um, some people just bring those three fun courses, I call them fun, but three courses that aren't their main topic and then use the rest of the courses in their main topic. So it all depends, but you can bring any of your CATS points in as long as they are valid from for the past 4 years. And also, if you have taken courses for no CATS points in the past, you can go online and pay for your CATS points retrospectively. So I believe it's pounds for the 10 CATS points.
Somebody says, if you need to take a year out, for example, for medical reasons, would it be acceptable to take more than 4 years to do the course? Yes, of course. Yeah, if you're granted a suspension for a year, then you could take 5 years. Depending on your circumstances, if you run into difficulties, we will help you as best we can to manage them. And people do suspend for a term or for a year, for example, depending on their situation.
And we have had people suspend. You're allowed to take 6-term suspension. So we've had people take 2 years off because of different reasons, medical, family, whatever it is. Yes, no, the CAT fee, I'm sorry, the CAT fees do not need to be paid. Once you are a CertHE student, you do not have to pay for CAT fees.
Does CS50 done by Professor Daniel Wilson right now count for any credit? I have no idea because I don't know about CS50. It basically, has it got CATS points attached to it? Does it have 10 CATS points attached to it at level 4? If the answer is yes, then I think that there would be no problem importing those. But I don't know about the CS50. Do you know about that, Christina? No, I don't know.
You'd have to look. It would tell you if it holds CATS points or not on the course page.
Yeah. If you take a summer course in Oxford, would that count for the academic year starting or the next fall or for the previous one? It would fall within the previous one. It would fall within that year if you're taking it before September, which is when the new year begins. I think we've done the deadlines.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good one. Under the history umbrella, could a student merge architectural histories with general history if they are history biased?
Oh, I don't know what that means. Merge.
That basically what that means if an architectural history course seems like it has more history, can it count as history or could history count as architectural history? We've had this a few times, and what we do is I will take the question, I'll pose it to Dr. Law and the assessor, which would for architectural history would be Dr. Machette, and Dr. Cresswell is our history tutor. They will discuss it and decide whether it can count as both or not. But we do have people who take history as their main subject, and then they do all their non-subject area courses in architectural history.
Yeah, that's what I thought the question was getting at, actually. But yeah, so yeah, you could just do history and architectural history, and that's all history. But actually, it counts as two subject areas, so you're fine. You can do that.
However, local history counts as history.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yes.
And as Christine was just explaining, sometimes a CATS for credit course kind of gets double counted. It can count as one of two subject areas. Unusually, that's not usually the case, but on occasion, they can be counted either way.
This next one, can the written paper in a main topic be submitted as part of the application? We would like you to follow the directions that are sent to you on the topics. If you want to pull some of your paper in from it, but it's only a short paper. You don't need to send in a big long thing. But the assessors have asked that it is following the directions that are given with the application. So please make sure that when you apply and you get the application and the application direction, that you click on all the links within there and follow the directions.
Yeah, including things like word limit, for example.
Yeah, and so we would like you to have a fresh written statement, so to speak.
Yeah, the statement should be fresh, and you could. There's no reason why you couldn't import something that you've written elsewhere. That I think that would be okay, but you need to basically meet the criteria exactly as specified on the website. So read that very carefully.
Dr. Jennifer Dunn is our English literature assessor, who is wonderful. To clarify, the 30 CATS points to be paid for each course taken prior to application. Correct. You do need to pay for the CATS points prior to being on the CertHE. Once you are on the CertHE and you start enrolling in courses, once you're on the certificate, you do not have to pay for CATS points. And once you get on the certificate, you'll get many emails from me saying, do not pay for CATS points. You'll get
Yeah.
reminded. But until then, pay for the CATS point.
Yeah. Must the referee be qualified in the main subject, or can he be qualified in your original discipline? He can be qualified in anything at all. In fact, they don't even need to be an academic. You know, your boss at work can write you a reference. Somebody that you just know very well could write you a reference. There's no particular rule about who gets to write a reference, other than it shouldn't be the subject area assessor, because they're the ones making the decision, so they can't write you a reference. But yeah, other than that, it can be anyone. It doesn't have to be an academic.
And I think we're now into the point that we are repeating a lot of the questions. And once again, all of our questions are answered on the webpage.
And maybe we should just add that once you're enrolled on the CertHE, you do get regular reminders from you, Christina, about exactly where you are on the program, what you need to do next, you know, how much credit you've accumulated, when your first assignment is going to come due. There are regular reminders about all of this, so you're not just sort of left to your own devices. We very much monitor.
We do have forums for our students to go to and discuss and meet each other online as well.
Yeah. And we also offer a mentoring scheme now also, which I'm running. So if you're in your first year and you would like to be paired up with somebody that's further along in the course, we'll arrange that. We have volunteers that volunteer to mentor, and then you have the opportunity to talk to them a bit less formally, maybe about how things are going and what problems maybe they ran into, what difficulties you're having, what opportunities there might be, and so on. So all sorts of opportunities for you to communicate with other students. Mentoring is a fairly recent one. We introduced that 3 years ago, and that's been very popular.
Just make sure you read everything, and you can rewatch this session as well.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, we have to stop there, unfortunately. But yeah, the website has tons of information on it. If you look at it carefully, almost any question that you're likely to have occur to you after this is probably answered on the website. You can contact us. Be aware that Christina is hugely overworked, and if you do contact her, it may take her a little bit of time to get back to you. You can also contact me directly. I'd be happy to receive an email if you have a question you wish to ask me. But your first port of call should be the website. Okay. Thank you very much for coming along, and I hope to meet some of you in the future, possibly in an interview. Okay. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.